All righty, folks. He is back. I have to apologize. I did not have a conversation with Mr. Dan Bird last week because, yes, I was in the middle of running a marathon. Right about now, I was about a little bit more than halfway done. That's where all the pain started. But welcome back, Mr. Dan Bird. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So you are back.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back this week.
How did the
Um,
marathon go? Did you win?
I no, I did not win. Well, actually, you know what? I did win because my goal was to finish. Uh, I
There you
finished
go.
in 5 hours and 20 minutes, I think. The first half was a breeze, 13.1. I've done it 4 or 5 times, easy. The next 6 miles, I'll call it okay. But at mile 19, between 19 and 20, my body just trashed. My feet,
Hmm,
hip, knee, complete
really?
misery every single step. But yeah, we
And
finished.
and
My
and did
time
and did
went
you think that was fun?
in the moment, no, but I was emotional when I finished, which I did not
I bet.
expect. I mean, like literally, like, why am my eyes watering?
Hmm.
I had to get a grip on myself. I was like, this is weird. But my body was clearly went through something. I pushed it harder than I've done in a long time. And
Have you done a full marathon before?
no, I
Oh,
did it
okay.
because I'd never done it before. The
Okay.
longest I'd ever run pre-training was 13.1.
Hmm.
And the long story short is I was not happy with 2023. I didn't feel like I did anything. I didn't feel like I grew.
Right.
So I chose something January 2nd that I'd never done, which was a marathon, which I planned for, nearly 11 months. So
Hmm.
I've been thinking about the marathon almost every day for 11 months. Really got to training like, I don't know, 16 weeks out, so 4 months out, ramping up the mileage. So yeah, it was a big deal to get done. I could tell you right now, I'll never do another one because yeah, it's a lot for a
Well,
52-year-old.
congratulations though for finishing. So yeah, you did
Yeah,
win.
I did win. I did win. So,
Like
but
like I always say, it's not whether you win or lose that counts. It's whether you win.
I agree. I won. I did, man. I was happy. I was glowing for I don't know, a couple of days easy, just like basking in the glory of, hey, I completed my hard thing for 2024. So
Very cool.
very cool.
Very cool. I wasn't here either last week. Even without you, I didn't do one. So I was filming a screenplay that I wrote.
Yeah, which we will maybe
Yeah,
we'll tease
when
that.
we finish it, it'll be a few months to finish it. But when we finish it, it's only probably 30 minutes the total. It's a 3 10-minute trilogies. It's a trilogy of 3 10-minute movies.
Sections, movies. Yeah.
So I'll put it on YouTube
There you
when we
go.
get it finished.
There you go. There you go. Well, let's get into the news. Not a lot has happened last week. It's not like we've had an election. It's not like we've had a interest rate cut. It's not like we've had the market ripping. Oh, by the way, we've got CPI next week. Where do you want to start?
So one of the things that I said on my YouTube channel, which I'll show in a second how to find it,
Mhm.
is that the election was exciting and the Fed meeting was boring.
No, I think well said. Well said.
So, I mean, let's start with the election. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
And I actually have a chart of 2016. You can see what
Hmm.
happened last
Oh,
time
that's
Trump
interesting.
won. Let me share my screen. Do this. Hang on. Can you see that?
I can.
So anybody interested, this is my website, breakpointtrading.net, and this is where you can find the YouTube channel. So just go to this website, breakpointtrading.net, and the YouTube channel is right there in the upper right. Just click on that
Look,
button.
look at you making
Um,
it easy for people.
yeah, it should be super easy. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to go to this website and just click on the button, and there you are. It's the way that I set it up. It's more of a teaching channel than anything else.
Okay.
So I'm doing a daily scan. I teach people how I create the scans, the um, stocks that I pull from, how I do that. I'll show that a little bit today, and then how I actually move my stops. So where I buy, where I move my stops, I'm actually buying the stocks when we do this. So I'm teaching people how to trade trade stocks basically,
I like it.
and trade them with low risk. That's the key.
Yes.
So that's mostly what the channel is about, but it's probably going to evolve. I started off by just reviewing the market for the day, so I do it every day. it's a daily um, feed. So every day I just start off with reviewing the market, where what happened, where it's going, and then I go
Now, is
into
this it's an end of day close, right?
yeah, it's after the close.
Yeah,
Yes.
after the close. And
Yeah.
typically the videos will be up. So the market closes 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. Your aim's to have these up by what, 5 or 6?
So when the market closes, there's a bunch of updating that I do on the website. Like you see the
Right.
chart, the market bias chart you see right here. So
Mhm.
I update that after the close, and a few other things that I update. So that takes me about 45 minutes or so. And then I do the daily scan recording. So that's they've been running about 25, 30 minutes, something like that.
Nice.
So probably by 6 East Coast, three
There you
o'clock
go. Yeah, just
West
trying to give
Coast,
people a feel. Yeah, 60.
somewhere
That makes
somewhere
sense.
around that time frame, they should be out there.
Yeah, you know what might recommend is trying to hit a time, and maybe 7 o'clock Eastern is better, right? Just start scheduling for the same time.
Okay,
You know, like I do a 7:30
that's
a.m.
yeah.
live show.
I noticed you can schedule them, so that's probably a good idea.
Yeah,
I
just
should
so
have it
people
finished
expect
before
them at
then.
the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have it finished before then. I could just schedule it. That's a good idea.
There you go. There you go. Well, let's
But
get into
anybody,
it. Let's
I hope it's adding value. Please, anybody that views it, give me comments. Let me know if
yeah,
there's
let us
something
know.
else you'd like to see. Be happy to do that. But we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
again, hundreds of you, no kidding, hundreds of you have been begging for Dan to have his channel. He has it now. Go check it out. That little blue button YouTube channel. Again, he started with scans. Let me just tell you that I fully expect him to evolve over time. So leave comments, leave feedback. He will read them, and yeah, let's have some fun with this.
There is a site I realized called Breakpoint Trades out there that also uses stock charts and also puts lots of charts out. And it looks like he does a pretty good job, frankly. So
Nice.
that a lot of times, if you try searching on breakpoint trading, you end up there.
Hmm.
So the easiest thing is just to come to my website and click on the button
Yeah,
right here.
there you go. Easy peasy.
Very
All right,
easy,
let's
right?
talk. Let's talk election reaction.
Yes. So, like I said, the election was exciting. The market. I'll show you the market. Here's what happened. This is the whole year. This goes back to the October bottom last year.
Yep.
So this is basically a little bit more than a year. And right over here, let me turn on my cursor. Right here is the election.
Yep.
So Tuesday is this white candle. The day of the election, it started to move up already. And then, of course, once it was clear that there was a winner, and that's more than anything else, the reason that it screamed higher.
Oh,
I,
absolutely. I think the
I don't
market
think it
was
was
set up
because it
for
was. I don't think it was because of Trump or
no.
Harris. I think it was a decisive win. That made more difference than anything else.
I agree. I think the market, I think the analysts, I think the predictions were all it's a 50-50 razor thin. And I think
Right.
what that translated to for a lot of people was contested election.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that didn't happen. I think it was called at 11 o'clock Pacific time or
Yes.
thereabouts.
Yeah.
And once that happened, again, what a lot of the market is it's de-risking things. And once it was called, it was like, oh, that's one less thing to be concerned about.
That's exactly right. So the market hates uncertainty, and it just took the
Correct.
uncertainty away. So
Yeah, there you
what
go.
you'll notice, though, I mean, we had one, two, three big up days where the market ended at the highs. We had a big gap up right there.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
a lot of times gaps get filled, but that doesn't mean they have to get filled, and it doesn't mean it's going to be anytime soon. It could take years for that to get filled.
yeah. You know
But
the biggest thing that I saw, and again, you're the stock guy, but was the market in stocks ripping and the VIX crashing.
yeah, we'll
I
look at
thought
the VIX in a second too. Yes.
I thought that was odd.
Not only did it, and I said that before the election, I said it in my YouTube channel as well. The VIX above 20 is usually where the bears are in control. Below
Mm-hmm.
17 is where the bulls are in control.
Mm-hmm.
The day before the election, it was at 22.
Hmm.
The day after the election, it was at 16.
There you
So
go.
it didn't even stop at that buffer zone in between 17 and 20. It dropped
Just
straight through it.
hot knife through butter.
Yeah. So that, I mean, the VIX is an indication of volatility 30 days out.
Right.
So it implies that, we probably are going much higher. And we hit 6,000 on Friday, by the way,
Yeah, I saw that.
right here, 6,012. We close a
I don't know
little
if
bit low.
I don't know if you've seen Bitcoin this morning, but Bitcoin's almost 81,000.
Yeah, I know. I have
Crazy.
Bitcoin right here.
It's
I said that
crazy.
on the channel too. I said Bitcoin is on its march to 100,000.
Yes, I do. Thank God I have one coin, I guess.
Yep, Bitcoin's going up along with everything else. It's they're calling it the Trump trade. I guess that's okay, but I don't think
I think it's
I
the
don't think
certainty trade.
yeah, it's the certainty trade. I don't think it's necessarily that it was Trump. I think it was just, it was poised to go up as if there was a decisive election.
Yeah, it was spring loaded. I think there was so much consternation around a
As a matter of
contested
fact, I
election.
saw an article that said they did an analysis of the survey of, do you feel better than you did 4 years ago?
Oh yeah.
And they
Hmm.
went back in time and looked at other elections whenever that was,
Yep.
negative. And they
Hmm.
said it wouldn't have mattered who the candidate was. The Republicans were going to win no matter what,
Yeah.
just because so many
Yeah.
people were dissatisfied.
Yeah. The exit poll that I saw um, was 75% of folks thought the economy was on the country was on the wrong
On
track.
the wrong track. That's right. Yeah,
That
that's the story.
that's
That's the survey
that's
they were
not
doing.
that's that's not a winning strategy when
No,
75% of the country thinks it's on the wrong track.
right, exactly. So it should be interesting. Now, I did put together a chart of 2016.
Okay.
So keep this little thing right here in mind. I actually think I have one for, yeah. So that's where we are right now.
Okay.
So this is August. 3 days up, almost ending near the high. Now Friday pulled back to the halfway point. So it went up and then pulled back. So I think it needs to rest. I think it would be healthy for it to come back down a little bit, um, even back down to this support line right here. It's at 58.78. So that would be 100 points, which
Okay.
really isn't that much. It would be healthy for that to happen, or just go sideways for a while. I kind of expect that. Now, next week is options expiration, next Friday.
Okay.
So, as I've talked about before, Max Payne, just in general, and this isn't a hard and fast rule, but in general, if there's lots of calls, lots of options calls, people, which obviously they are with this big uptrend,
Mhm.
everyone's buying calls. So for the market makers, it's to their advantage if the market comes down and those calls
Well,
expire.
let me ask you that question. Obviously looking at the chart makes sense to have calls the last 3 or 4 days, but any idea how the market was set up? Because I would have guessed, again, purely guessed, never looked, frankly, wouldn't know how to look. I would have guessed there was a lot more puts, going into Tuesday.
That could be. I don't know. Tom Bowley does that
Okay.
analysis, and he does it usually on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
So I will cover that in my daily scan YouTube channel.
Awesome.
I'll tell you what his report is showing, and what he does is he goes to the CBOE and he
Hmm.
looks at all of the calls and all of the puts, and he
Right.
calculates the dollar value
Sure.
based on how many of each, all of them, the whole thing. He calculates the dollar value of puts versus calls, and then whatever the difference is will either be positive or negative. All
Understood.
right.
Yep.
So normally, if there's lots of calls like this, it usually means that it will go the opposite options expiration. So the market will go down. Now we're poised to go down, or we're poised to at least rest. We're going into options expiration the end of next week. The market makers would be probably very happy if the market just pulls back. They're not going to do anything to keep that from happening
Well, we actually
because,
have a compelling event, right? Because option expiration is a Friday. Do I have that right?
yep, yeah,
And we have a pretty big deal on Wednesday.
CPI, yeah,
Yeah, that I have a sneaky feeling. Again, a lot of experts are calling different numbers. I have a sneaky feeling, which I think you would agree with. We're going to get a positive number. I mean, it's going to go up month on month, and I'm referring to headline, not core. But I think
yes, I think
headline
it
might go
will.
up.
I think it will. Let's talk about that in a second because I've got a chart. We can look at a chart on that. But let me show you 2016
Oh,
real
I'm
quick
sorry, my bad.
and show you what happened. This is 2016. Here's the election. Last time Trump won,
Oh, wow.
right there. You can see the market had been coming down,
Hmm.
similar to what it's doing now, although it was coming down longer. I mean, this time it actually was going up and then coming down right at the end, right through this October. And then right literally the day after the election. And again, nobody expected Trump to win, if you remember
No,
back then. I
no,
mean,
no.
everyone was calling for him to lose.
I think the last odds I saw in 16 were like 91% Clinton or some
Right.
insane percentage. Yeah,
That's right. So, and he won pretty decisively as
he
well.
did. He did.
So again, it's not so much that it was Trump, it was because it was just a decisive win.
Mhm.
And it took away all the uncertainty and the market just screamed higher. So this is very similar to what we have right now, that period. But can we do this? I mean, that was the start of a pretty major bull market right there.
Well,
We've already been
yeah, let's play with this a little bit. So again, we're roughly, let's call it roughly 2100 to, let's call it 2700. So that's about a 30% move over 2 years,
right.
roughly,
Yeah.
maybe 25%. So
Mm-hmm.
what are we today? 6,000?
Yeah, we're already at 30% for the year.
No, but I'm not referring to now. I'm referring to
I
the
mean,
next
for
two
going
years.
forward,
So that would
yeah.
take it from
So
6,000 to 8,000.
yeah, roughly, yeah,
Rough. I mean, again, I'm just doing, straight up percentages.
yeah, right.
That would be
Six
that would be
thousand.
quite that would be quite a ride.
That would be quite a ride. I frankly don't think that we're going to do that again. I think the whole everything's set up differently this time.
Of course.
So I think we're going to have a nice bullish uptrend for the next few months. We're in the best part of the year right now. From
True.
now until January 18th is the best part of the whole year. So that's right in this little section back in 2017 where the market went sideways right there. I
Hmm.
think this part from here to here will probably look similar.
Okay. That makes sense.
But but then and the sideways movement in January, I think will probably look similar. But then we'll have to see. And I don't know. And somebody asked me, you think we're going to have a recession like you mentioned we might next year? Or the market going to start to go down? Are we going to have a cyclical bear like we did in 22? And my response was, I don't know. We don't have enough data yet.
Yeah, there's not enough
So
data.
we've got to wait and see how all of this occurs.
Mhm.
Now, have you thought about what happens if something happens to Trump between now and January 20th?
No, I do not want to put that out there. I am not having that discussion. That is
I'm
not
sure.
okay. Bad
I'm
karma.
sure. I'm sure lots of people are thinking about it. I hope Trump and his team are thinking about it. But what would happen? Do you know what happens if a president elect dies before inauguration?
Well, he's already elect, so his VP rolls in, I would imagine.
That is true. However, when is he officially president elect?
I would not. I mean, I'm not even having this conversation. No, I don't care. I'm
Well,
not.
that's the
I'm
big
not putting that out there.
that's the big question, and the answer is January 6th.
Yeah,
When
inauguration day. Yeah.
no, inauguration day is January 20th.
Oh, is it the 20th? Oh, my bad.
January 6th is when the Electoral College
Oh, it's
votes are
certified.
certified.
Okay,
And
certified.
that's when he officially is president elect.
Not putting it out there. Erase from memory. We don't hope we don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't. We don't need
Well,
more chaos.
it's
No
an
more chaos.
it's an interesting scenario because I did look into it, and if something happens between now and January 6th,
Has it ever happened?
potentially
We've had four. This is
it
our
did happen,
47th.
but not with it did happen to Horace Greeley. He died before. However, he didn't win. He didn't win the Electoral College. But they did. But so what happens is then it goes to Congress, and Congress then decides whether to take away the electoral votes or
Hmm.
not. Now, in that with Horace Greeley, it was a pretty close election. So
Hmm.
they actually took away 3 of his Electoral College votes.
Hmm.
Didn't really make much difference, but it's never happened with someone that's actually won.
Okay.
But
All right.
technically, Congress could then decide whether or not they will accept the electoral votes. Now, in this
We're
case,
not good.
in this
Okay.
case, because it was such a blowaway election, I don't think there's going to be any danger of that. But I think there's still potentially some uncertainty between now and January 6th. So we'll see.
Not entertaining that conversation. I've blocked from memory. Move on.
All right. So let's look at CPI. Um,
Yes. Yeah, I
let's
think,
go
dude,
here.
I think CPI might be, like when you're riding your bike and somebody shoves something into your front wheel.
Yeah.
I think CPI might shock people on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying this for a while, actually.
Yeah. Yes, we
Here's
have.
headline CPI right here. So here's the Wednesday number right there.
Yep.
You see two big ones, September and October. We've been
Yep.
through this chart before, and
Yep.
we were kind of talking about this particular one. Very small one that rolls off. So this is the 12-month moving average, rolling average. The way it works is just nothing but math.
It's just
Whenever
math.
a big one drops off on this end and a smaller one gets added to the front end, then CPI goes down.
Just math.
Just math. So it's a very small one that's dropping off. It's almost flat, not quite flat, but it's almost very small one that drops off. And there probably will be a little slightly larger one that gets added.
And bingo
So,
bango goes up.
yep. So I think, and I've said this before, I think CPI is going to go up. I think you're going to hear all the headlines saying, see, inflation's coming back, just like we said,
Exactly.
coming back again. The Fed was too soon. They shouldn't have cut.
Yeah. Why'd they
Now the Fed
cut
only cut,
75 basis points? Yeah.
right, because of this right here. And the next one, the next month is a little bit bigger, but it's not a huge one either. So this one actually, I think, will go up. So 2.4 is what we're at right now. It'll probably come in at 2.5, and I think your
Market
source,
Watch. Yeah.
yeah, Market Watch
calls
said
2.5.
2.5. My source says it's going to be flat at 2.4, but I think it's going to go to 2.5.
Agreed.
So it's going to
2.5.
start to tick up. Everyone will get alarmed. The market might even get alarmed,
Yep.
especially going into, and it'll be a perfect opportunity for market makers to just let the market fall. So all of those calls expire worthless at the end of the week, right?
Yep.
So all of those things are lining up next week for a pullback in the market. We'll see if it happens. The one after that isn't as big either. So that one might just be flat, might stay at 2.5. And then look what happens.
Yeah. Then it gets
Bam,
easy.
bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Now,
Welcome to CPI below 2%.
exactly. So what's interesting is, do you know who Jeffrey Gundlach is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's a major trader on Wall Street. And after the Fed meeting on CNBC, every month, Jeffrey Gundlach comes on right after the meeting is over, and he has a conversation with CNBC about what he thinks about the meeting, about what the Fed's doing, whether he agrees with it, doesn't agree with it. He made a very interesting comments. Anybody that watched that, especially that watches this channel, probably noticed it. But he said, by next spring, by April or May next year, CPI is going to be below 2.
Oh, absolutely. Math. I
And
mean, it's almost a mathematical certainty. Almost.
that's right. This is just math. So yes, it's almost a mathematical certainty that this is going to be below 2. And it's going to start going down. It'll start going down probably not this month, maybe not next month, but the month after. I think it might go down,
And accelerating.
and then it will accelerate. Yes.
Yep.
So absolutely February, March, by March timeframe, or maybe April, it'll be below 2.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
we could be, closing in on 1.5 by the time we get
These
to
are
the
obviously
summer.
headline, but yes. Yep.
Headline CPI, right?
Yep. I agree.
But before that, we're going to get lots of consternation and
Yeah, that's why I think Wednesday is going to be really interesting. It comes in, it goes up, so it breaks trend. The
yeah.
Fed has already cut 3 times. You know what? I'll say this. I haven't said this before. I think if it goes up to 2.5, there's no way in heck the Fed cuts in December. I don't know how they do.
I disagree.
Okay, awesome.
I think the Fed will continue to cut. I think, or let me rephrase that. I think the Fed will cut one more time and then they'll stop.
Oh, so a total of 100.
Yeah. So I think they will cut in
Interesting.
December, quarter point. So this will go up. I don't know if the Fed meeting is before or after CPI in
In
December. Do you know?
December, I think it's after. I think it's the 17th, I think,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay. So they'll have a data point and they'll probably see CPI flat.
Hmm. I agree.
Probably
Flat.
not accelerating higher. Might just be flat, stay at 2.5. But
Hmm.
the Fed sees this too. This
Sure.
isn't exclusive to us. The Fed knows how this works.
Absolutely.
So they know this is going to come down. So I think they're still going to cut 25. Now, one thing that I always like to look at as well as we go into this is
Yeah.
commodities,
Commodities.
see what they're doing. And commodities have been pretty flat um, for the. Let me move this month over. So this is the month that will get reported right here. So you can see that CRB is
Yeah.
actually down here. So CRB is down here. This is food. Food actually has come down in the
Hmm.
month.
Yep.
Copper has come down. CRB has come down. Gas and oil came down. So yeah, I think we're probably going to get 2.5. I don't think it'll be higher than that.
Yeah.
I
Me
mean,
too.
it could be flat based on commodities. It could come in at 2.4. But if these continue to come down, um, even if the base effect is kind of still pushing things flat or a little bit up, I think if commodities continue to come down, then I think the CPI will be okay. And I think the Fed knows this too. I
Sure.
mean, the
Sure.
Fed sees all of this stuff. So
What one thing I didn't look at because I was at Resi Club with Lance Lambert on Friday was it looks like the 10-year note got better, or at least
yes,
rates got better on Friday.
right.
Did that happen?
Yeah, they did. We'll look at that. Hang on. I actually was trying something else with somebody in my community here. I have a meeting here with people too, and he said,
Hmm.
compare the 10-year note to gold, which
Hmm.
is interesting. But let's look at the 10-year right here. So 10-year came down Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
So it's down to 4.3, and bonds started coming back up.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's really this is was the trend line. It broke through the trend line and then came right back. It only stayed above this trend line for one day, basically,
Hmm. Okay.
and then pull right back below it. And here's the last rate cut. Um, so the one that just happened is right there where it started coming down.
Hmm.
Interestingly,
Yeah, because it was on Thursday this week. Yeah.
right. And there's the 2-year moving higher, and the yield curve. Look at that. That was interesting too. I just noticed that last week. The yield curve was going back to zero.
Hmm.
I wonder how
And that's the
that.
2 and 10. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
2 and 10, and if we get the yield curve, what just out of curiosity, if that happens next week at the
Hmm.
same time we get CPI going up,
Yeah.
what's
Whoops.
that? What's that going to do to the market?
Yeah. Not good. That's a
Right,
recessionary. Well, historically been a recessionary indicator.
right. It's at 0.05 right now, so it's pretty close.
Wow. Below one or below point one.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. It's just sitting just above the zero line, so the yield curve could invert again.
They could.
Couple of other things I wanted to look at. Um, the VIX we talked about. So let's take a look at what the VIX looks like. And you'll see right here. So here's where it was just before the election, above 20. And look, it went
Down, down.
right through
Just
that
cut
gap
through
right
it.
there. Yeah, it's below 15 now.
Mm.
So, and the moving average lines are moving down. The rate of change now has broken this uptrend line. So that's moving down. So the VIX is signaling that low volatility,
Yeah.
complacency.
Certainty is back. Well, at least the feeling of certainty.
Right. The other one is my risk on chart, which is
Okay.
right here. There's the S&P. So here's where it broke through a new all-time high.
Hmm.
Here's the S&P versus bonds. So stocks are outperforming bonds.
Mm-hmm.
This is investment grade corporate bonds versus treasury bonds right here. So normally, if it's risk on, then bond traders are buying the investment grade corporates rather than the U.S. Treasury bonds,
Gotcha.
and that's what's happening. So this shows risk on. Here's high yield corporate bonds versus 3 to 7 year treasuries. It's significantly higher.
Hmm.
So what this is saying is that the whole market, in fact, all the way from back here, right in this area, the bond market is risk on right now too. Growth
Interesting.
versus value is not higher, so you'd like to see growth outperforming value if the market's going up. And this had been coming down, but it's starting to move back up again. But look at discretionary versus staples.
Oh, wow.
It's significantly higher. It's above, all the way back here for the whole year. It's uh,
Hmm.
it's it's a 52-week high for discretionary versus staples. Discretionary is things we like to buy. Staples are things we have to buy.
Correct.
So that shows that there's positive sentiment in the market right now. And one of the things that I noticed each week I update these industry groups. So the
Hmm.
red ones are the bottom 10, the green ones are the top 10 for the week.
Hmm.
And one of the top 10 was
Automobiles.
automobiles.
Wow.
The top 10. Look at the chart, first of
I
all.
would
This is a
not have
weekly
guessed that.
chart.
Oh, look at that. Jeez.
Look at that. And if you click on the little bubble, it actually shows you the stocks that are in that industry group.
Oh, Tesla.
Tesla, number one.
Tesla, of course. Up
Tesla's number
almost
one.
almost 25% in a week.
Yep. There's Tesla. This is so I guess it
So
was
would that be
smart.
called a breakout, Dan? Was that a breakout?
Yeah, that is for sure a breakout. In fact, I don't know, would you call this the Trump cabinet breakout?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
But
the breakout. There's the breakout right there. So here's the election right here. Oops.
yep.
There's the election right there.
Yep.
Musk, he's a smart guy. It might have been a brilliant move to align himself with Trump just before the election.
Well, I will never play with Tesla stock. I think it is such a cult. But
Yeah.
when I think about this, what I see coming, and again, completely could be wrong, is I believe Trump will cancel, whatever the right word is, these EV credits.
Mm-hmm.
The 7 or 8 or whatever, $10,000 you get by buying an EV.
Right.
And I'm going to guess that credit obviously hurts Tesla, but it hurts everybody else more. And Tesla comes out of this stronger than the other folks. That's just my gut guess.
So I think that he will not cancel the credits, at
Hmm.
least not right away, or
Okay.
he may reduce the credits rather than cancel them.
Okay.
And that part of that could be, Elon Musk's influence.
Sure.
But I think more importantly, I think what Trump is going to do right from the beginning, and he said this all along through his candidacy. He said the best way to reduce inflation is to lower the cost of lower the input costs.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest input costs is energy.
Yep.
So one of the first
Drill.
things that
Yeah.
he's going to do is open up the pipelines. He'll cancel all of those, anti oil and
Yep.
gas executive orders that Biden put in. He'll cancel all of
Yep.
those. That'll be the first thing he does. It won't
Oh
be
yeah, that'll be day one. Yep.
yeah, it won't be the EV thing yet. He might do
No,
that
yeah,
eventually.
yeah. That's. I was just trying to play it out. Why spike so much? So I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, all around the world, people are changing already before he's even in
Yeah, I saw
office.
that. I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw a long
So
list of things that happened.
right. So I think from an energy perspective, I think that's probably is going to be a big win. I think the energy sector will probably do well.
Mhm.
Let's look at that sector. So here's the sector. There's the big gap right there after the election,
Yep.
and they're breaking out right now. They're not quite back to the high, 52-week high, but I think it's going to get there. So I think
Okay.
the energy sector probably is going to do pretty well.
Mhm.
The two industries that reversed immediately after the election was renewable. And you can see right there,
Oh yeah.
it's one of the top 10 bottom. Actually, it was the bottom. So energy reverse. Here's the election right there. Actually, this is a weekly chart. So last week before the election, it started coming back. It actually was at the top. It was green. It was one of the top 10. And then this week, it's heading the other direction. It's heading down. So renewables and marijuana, those were the two that really took a hit after the election.
Gotcha. Okay.
And a lot of the marijuana initiatives around the country, we had one in Florida. A lot of them
Mhm.
got shot down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. Very cool.
So it's
All right. Well,
interesting.
let's show people your YouTube channel button one more time,
Yep,
and
it's
we will
right at the
get ready
top
for
of
CPI.
breakpointtrading.net site right there. Um, just in a couple of minutes we have left, I just want to mention one thing. So one of the
Sure.
things I do on the YouTube channel is I run a scan every day and I use this top 10. So these are the top 10 stocks, and I update this every week. And if it has an asterisk, those just got added to the list each week.
Mm-hmm.
This list, and then I start accumulating all of them into one list over here. There's 240 stocks from last week, and I'll update that today. But this has been a pretty amazing list. It actually surprised me when I actually went out and looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I actually look at the top 10 list itself, right here, this is the list that I use to run the scans against. And every day so I know that they're good stocks. So now I'm just looking for those that have pulled back and starting to move higher again. So I want to catch them on the uptrend. But these are all the stocks. Let's sort by year to date percent change.
Oh, 2,800? Oh my gosh.
2,800% is the top one, right? And then it's 900, 700%. So, but the important thing, I mean, you'll always get some that do that sort of thing. But how many of these have been positive for the whole year? So I didn't really realize when I first started to accumulate these like this,
Mm-hmm.
how powerful this would be. But
And
let's
again, there's
just
240, right? Do I remember that?
200,
The
there's
setup?
240 stocks in this
So
list. So
so I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
read.
that I
Go ahead.
let me take a guess. So the sample size is 240. Because of the scan, we know at least for a week all of them were on the list.
Right.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna skew high. So I'm gonna guess 200 are
That's
are
probably
up for
pretty
the year.
close. All right. So 200 are
Out
positive
of
or
240. Yeah.
are
Yeah.
positive. Okay. But you're
That's what
not
I'm gonna
saying how
guess.
positive, that
No,
just
I'm
that they're
not. I'm just
positive.
saying green. Green. That's
All
all I'm
right.
saying.
So I'm going to hit this percent change and we're going to get the bottom of the
Uh-oh.
list. All right.
All right. Oh, we're talking what, six?
Yeah. Six. And the only reason this one is here is because it's year to date. So this one, I'm not sure about,
So it's a new, they're new, right? Yeah.
these are
Okay.
new. These are brand new within the year. So they don't have a year to date number yet.
So we're talking 3%. Wow.
4 out of 240.
Even if you said six, it's still,
Even if you
yeah.
say six, right?
Yeah.
But then look at the percentage gain year to date of these. Just just scroll down. I mean, pretty
What's the
quickly.
market up? Is the market up 30%?
Our market's up 30%. Yep,
So how many are
roughly.
below 30?
So we're right down here. So
I
that's
don't know.
what that's probably about 20,
40-ish. Yeah. 20
maybe
maybe. Okay.
40, right? Maybe 40
Somewhere in there.
above 30.
That's
So right
crazy.
there is the 30% point.
Hmm.
Just keep scrolling. Yeah, you can see the whole list over there. We got 40% gains, 50% gains.
How many are over 100?
So here's, yeah, 100 is a double, right, in a year, less than a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right
There you go.
here, right there
So
is the
starting
100.
100. Yep.
These are all the ones that are more than a double.
That's got to be half the list, or
Yeah, it's
nearly
almost
half the
half. It's
list.
probably close to half the list.
It's a pretty solid list, Mr. Dan Bird.
Yes, it is. I'm actually a little surprised myself at how powerful that little idea was.
I'm just curious. Can you go to that 2,600 or 2,700 one? I just want to see that chart.
Okay.
I'm just curious. That's not 10x, folks. That's 27x.
By the way, this one has consistently been on that top 10 list. So
I would
for
think
and
so.
yeah, and I had a Zoom call with my subscribers yesterday, which I do once a month with everyone that subscribes. But I told them, and I went through this with them. Let's make this a 1 year chart. Um, I said, if you do nothing else, with the website except just go to that top 10 list and just look at the names, just look at them and remember the names. So when you see them again sometime, or if they pull back and start to move up, you'll just remember they were on that top 10. And I just showed you how powerful that top 10 is. But
Yeah.
this is WGS
So that was a
starting
$2 stock.
starting over here. We'll look at, here's January right here.
Okay, a little bit later.
So
So
January 2nd, it was $2.64.
all right, call it a $3 stock.
And today
And
it's
I don't know,
today it's
75.
$75. Yep.
That's not bad. That's not a bad return. You'd like to catch one of those in your lifetime.
Absolutely. And this one has consistently been on the top 10. So
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 you
what
would have
I
had
what
many
I
opportunities.
many opportunities. Yeah. So it was on the top 10 there, and then it pulled back. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for hitting the top 10 and then pulling back. And
You
as
could
soon as
even
they
go
start,
earlier. There's a couple other peaks there.
yeah, way back here, top 10 right
Yeah.
there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. And this one
Huh.
I kept saying consistently was in the top 10. So it's in a pullback right now, so it might continue to take off. But that whole list is like that.
Yeah.
So when
Pretty
I do that
wild.
daily scan on my YouTube channel every day,
Hmm.
that's the list that I use to
Nice.
run this daily scan. And I show people what the scans look like, what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that pullback and then starting
Right.
to move up again. And we're putting that then on a worksheet that I actually share the worksheet with everyone as well,
Nice.
called the daily scan worksheet. So this
Hmm.
is the list of the ones that we've added. We're going to get it up to 14. So, each day we'll add some more and then we move the stops up. So three of these, the stops have already moved up. This one here was added on the 29th. So that's what, about a week and a half ago.
Hmm.
So you can see what it's done already. So here's where it was added. So it's that, remember that it's on the top 10. So we know it's strong. Had a pullback right there. And this vertical green line is where we added it.
Got it.
And then it's taking off. So
Yeah. I'd
that's what
say
I
so.
do. That's what I do every day after reviewing the overall market. That's what I do. I just see what the scan is telling us and start adding some more.
There
This
you go,
is
folks. Well, you've got to tune
these
in on
down
his
here. By the
YouTube
way,
channel.
just to give you a sense for what some of these could be. These down here, I didn't buy, but I put them on the pending trades because they were too close to earnings.
Mm.
Like this Upstart was only 2 days before earnings.
Mm.
Watch this.
Oh,
So here,
whoops.
so this is the day it hit the list right here. That pink vertical line. I'll make
Yep.
this a little bigger. All right, that pink vertical line is when it hit the list. It's up 46% just on Friday.
Whoops.
That is the power of combination of that list and the scans that I run.
Hmm. Huh.
Now I
Whoops.
didn't get into this one, and one of the things that I said was, I don't know if I feel worse when I buy one and it goes down, or I feel worse when I don't buy one and it goes up. I
I
actually
know
think
the
it's
answer to that. The latter.
yeah, that's right. I think I feel worse when it goes up and I don't buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it'd be
But
for me for sure.
it's a good learning process, just
Yeah.
learning not only how to find them, but also, where to set stops. So like this one here, the stop, we've moved up to here. We,
Yeah.
we bought it here, so the stop was way down here. It was a negative, but as the stock moves up, I
Yeah. You
moved
move
the
the
stop
stop.
up. So right now it's 9%. Even if I get stopped out, I've still made 9% in a week.
That that's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
anyway,
Well,
that's what we do on the daily scans. Anybody that's interested, it's right on my website, the upper
yep.
right YouTube channel.
Folks, go to breakpointtraining.net, click that button, subscribe, show him some love. He's been coming on this channel for maybe 3.5 years, giving away stuff. Least we could do is show him some love on his YouTube channel.
It'll
Dan,
be,
you are
by the
amazing.
way, it will officially be 3 years next month, December.
Wow. That's crazy, right? Right before New Year, I remember. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
crazy. Right. It's been fun, man. I appreciate you.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.
Mhm.